right, we're here with Sergey Lozhkin today, and he is a security researcher and a malware specialist at Kaspersky Lab. But you did some interesting research that you talked about today at the conference on medical device security, healthcare security. Um, Tell me first of all about how you got into the research and how challenging was it, given that that's really not your area of expertise.
Yes, actually, it's not my area of expertise, but I was thinking, okay, um, we are living in a world of Internet of Things right now, and everything started to be connected to the Internet. I have a lot of involvement in automotive research, and I said, okay, this area somehow connected. Okay, it's a big machines that actually do something. It's a big machines that have a lot of technologies put inside of them. They have a lot of software installed to them and stuff like that. And I was thinking, okay, if something happens with a car, like we see in the Miller and Walashuk case, it could be dangerous for a people's life and for people's health. It's absolutely the same situation with medical equipment. And that's why I started to research it, because if something goes wrong with the medical equipment, I'm not talking about direct physical threat right now, but if someone hacks some device that help a doctor to identify the threat, identify the diagnosis of person, some illness or something like that, if someone could affect this data, the healthy person could be treated as ill person or the opposite direction. Because if someone affects the direct results of, for example, MRI analysis, it could be really, really worse. So I decided, okay, this is a critical area. I wanted to research it. I want to maybe do some tests, because I'm a penetration test. I don't know anything about medical equipment. Why not I try? So I decided to look, like I said, in the internet. Then I found this hospital. Then I tested Wi-Fi network, and finally I was able to connect to MRI device and actually find out all this personal information and actually find out this vulnerability in the architecture, that something could be done to the device. That's how it was done.
So just to be clear, you did have permission of the hospital to.
Of course, I have a permission of hospital, and this hospital, actually, one of my friends, he was owner of this hospital, a manager, better say,
Yeah.
general management. And when I found that some of the devices is shown in the internet, in the Shodan search engine, I contacted him and say, hey, I found your hospital. This is funny. My friend, he said, oh, really? It's interesting. You're a security researcher. Maybe you can do some sort of little pen test. We will not notify our IT team, but I will be under supervision, so I will be completely sure that there are no actual testing for the people, for the real ones. There are no real data, and stuff like that. So we found the time, and I started my research, and actually that is.
And you found some pretty disturbing vulnerabilities, an easy way in, as you said, through the Wi-Fi network, and then you were able to access a lot of
Yeah.
critical
Yeah.
devices.
This was scary because it was really easy. Okay, if we're speaking about the initial vector, how it was done through the Wi-Fi network, and this Wi-Fi network was not really secured, as it should be in a such place where you kept a lot of data in a critical place like a uh, medical facility. But you know, it's just when it's like in everything with world. If a lot of small details happen together, then you can get something bad happening.
Right.
And this is the Wi-Fi network was not properly configured, and the guys who were developing this application in a medical device, they didn't think about that this device somehow will be in not protected area, in not protected with a bad Wi-Fi configuration or stuff like that. They were thinking how to make this device really, really powerful to put the perfect medical technologies installed in it.
Right.
But they, for some point, forgot about security stuff. So they were completely sure, maybe, that no one will be able to access it through the local device. It was not connected to the internet, something like that. But I connected to the local network through the Wi-Fi. Then I just connected to this device and found that every information there is open for me in this case, but it could be open in absolutely the same way for a bad guy.
Shodan is obviously a very powerful tool to find any of these devices online, these IoT devices.
Yes, mostly of these devices, because Shodan is made for working to find out the industrial infrastructure connected to the internet. And of course, medical equipment is industrial infrastructure. It can found anything related to hardware and software installed of it. And if you really know, for example, what feedback MRI or I don't know laser or cardiology device or any other kind of medical device gives to you when you connect to your sport. If you know this, if you, for example, somehow get a manual for this device or simply download it on manufacturer side, you can simply read, okay, this is what feedback and bytes are given back. You can go to Shodan, you can find hundreds of these devices, and if you already know some vulnerability, you can hack all of them.
How would you characterize or describe the ease, the simplicity with which you got in? I mean, how sophisticated a hacker could get in the way you did?
In this case, in this exact case, it was done, I better say, easily. So the hacker should have some knowledge of how Wi-Fi network is working. He should know how to look for a special nodes inside the network or any computer. He should know how to probably crack them using some vulnerabilities. But all the skills, it's just, I better say, basic level of penetration testing actually. So the skill is not you shouldn't be super malware developer or some guy who knows thousands of I don't know super languages, computer languages, sure, reverse engineering, stuff like that. So this was done actually. It's not true that any medical devices could be hacked like that. No, I just was lucky, and like I said, a lot of small pieces come together. That's why it was a big hole. A lot of small holes created a big hole for me. But on the other hand, the medical device is still insecure. I can see it. Some manufacturers really secure them, but some they're thinking about internet security on their second or even a third place.
Right. We're seeing, like you mentioned, the car hacking that Chris and Charlie are doing. We're seeing a lot more of this kind of research on technology that has an impact on physical, safety and health, and not just data. I mean, do you expect that to continue? Expect it to grow?
Absolutely, because like I said, Internet of Things is growing rapidly. Everything is growing rapidly in this area, and the more these devices become more sophisticated, the more they become more powerful operation system installed on it, more applications installed on these devices, the probability of that there would be much more vulnerabilities is existent. So I think lots of people are now from both sides, from the white side, like white security researchers, and the bad guys are deeply researching this area, car hacking, connected cars, medical devices, everything. Because for cyber criminals, it could be a big market for them for stealing personal data, trying to blackmail someone, or simply do it on purpose and spying, like targeted attacks for the cars. I think it's a future. It could be in the future we will see, for example, targeted attacks for a car, for a cars or even cars manufacturer. And but what is really happening, and I see it right now, that people finally, as a manufacturer of these devices, is finally thinking about security, because we have now a big conference related to only automotive security, for example, from IT side. We have conference related to medical equipment security and stuff like that. People started to think about it. They started to hire security engineers on their positions. They started to perform together their own red team to pen test, something like that. There are government regulations becoming more and more useful, and maybe in the future we will see some policies or standards regulating everything in the Internet of Things related area. So every side is developing, and the black and the white one.
It sounds like there's good opportunity too for education around security in this, especially on the development side.
Of course, it's a good opportunity for engineers, for example, the engineers who are creating medical equipment devices, to learn something from us, for example, because we are making this information publicly available. They can listen to us, ask for answers and stuff like that. But from our side, we are learning as well. And that's why I'm always thinking about that these companies who are producing this critical infrastructure stuff, Internet of Things, they should really cooperate with IT security researchers from the companies that actually researching that thing. And if this cooperation could be in a form of a real good partnership, I think both sides will get a lot of nice things.
It would be nice if they were proactive about security instead of reacting for once.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, Sergey, thank you for joining me.